spending some quality time in the local hospital. As I was convalescing, I found my mind going through just a variety of thoughts, ideas, notions, and the like. And one of them, as kind of creepy as it is how lucky I am. I was laying there, and in that pain, I realized I'm alive. I'm living, and you know, there's no other way to know it than needles getting jabbed in you, and the I won't bore you with the details, but the like, you know. And it was almost a relief to me knowing that. Another thought I had, I've had it many times before, is just how short life really is. I think the notion of loss is something that many people have a difficult time dealing with and talking about. For whatever reason, I'm comfortable with it, and it kind of just it seems natural to me. Recently, a close family friend of ours and fellow racer, Tony Simonian, passed away. One of my dad and my uncle's close family friends are my grandparents, and Tony's parents go back to Russia together. So there's a lot of history. He wasn't truly an uncle per se, but he was an uncle to me. He had just turned 59 the day before, and that Saturday evening, you know, in the blink of an eye, he was gone, at least from us. Shortly after Tony's passing, we lost another kind of beloved member of our family, Jerry, and you know, once again taken away before his time. At least in our eyes, he was taken before our time. We would have loved to spend some more time, some more joy. And Jim Barnes, another one of our racers, albeit he had spent a little more time on this earth. Once again, we felt just taken, or we had had enough time to spend with him. While it's often difficult to lose a loved one, I think it's a fact of life. I know Ben Franklin said there's two things you need to worry about, or that are certain in life, and it's death and taxes. And I think death is a great indicator of a person and the legacy they've left. If not, we wouldn't be talking about him today. I remember constantly taking jabs at my Uncle Tony for his constant love and support of the Holly 4-barrel. And it's one of those things that I remember to this day. Nary a conversation went by when I wasn't reminded of how if I wanted my little Dodge Hemi or my Y-block to run good, I had to yank off whatever carburation I had, and I got to put on a Holly 4-barrel. It was just Stromberg 97's nothing, Teapot carb nothing. That's all Tony knew of. It was the Holly 4-barrel. And I remember telling him, Uncle Tony, I've got this 3-deuce setup on my Dodge. Their Holly carburetor's 2110. I'm like, so that's like a Holly 6-barrel. That's got to be better than a 4-barrel. He wasn't amused. He kind of gave me a look. But it's something we shared. It was, you know, there was those constant jabs we shared. He also used to go on about his Vega and how it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I always thought that Vegas were good for their steering boxes. Yeah, we've had our disagreements. But while we used to joke, and, you know, there'd be times when Uncle Tony wouldn't be there, we'd be talking about, got to put that Holly 4-barrel on. I think it's a great indicator of a person. All the joking we used to do, it's those times that we hold on to and remember, and it's in that my Uncle Tony, Jerry, Jim, and anyone who's ever lost a loved one, it's when they live on forever. It's that constant remembering that you hold on to and brings you comfort in times of sadness. Once a person dies, I think they're no longer with us. There's no disputing that. I think, well, I already said that. I'm getting ahead of myself. I also kind of think a person's life is engaged much like a drag race. 9 months of incubation are kind of like waiting in the staging lanes. People are coming by, scoping you out. You know, you don't know it, but they're checking you out and trying to figure out what you got, what's going to go, what's coming up ahead. Sometimes the line moves a little fast, and we got premature babies just like my goddaughter. Sometimes with a couple of oil downs, and we're stuck in the staging lanes for a while, and we induce labor. Nonetheless, we kind of come up to the water box, and it's just like your preteens. It's loud, it's noisy, you got to make your presence known. Your childhood is like coming up to the beams. The lights drop, and you're off to school bright-eyed and eager. By quarter track, you pass the awkwardness of high school, and you're in your 20s. You have an idea of where you're going, but there can be detours. At half track, you've kind of settled into your groove. You're into your career, your family, your life. As you hit the finish line, you've entered retirement, you coast on down to the return road. While there are some who have seemed to shut down prematurely, there is an opportunity for eternal remembrance. It's my earnest belief that as long as you can remember a person, you can remember what they meant to you, and hold on to that. Hold on to that in your heart. They'll live forever. And I tell myself that every day, and I think it's so true. As humans, we possess this incredible ability to remember a wide variety of things. So often people think that once the heart stops, so does life. And you know what? I think they're wrong. This early life is expired. I think it's a wonderful thing. I think there's no greater gift we can have than to die. There's a whole new experience that is waiting for us once our physical bodies decide that it's time to pull the chute and pull off onto the return road. I don't know about y'all, but I'm completely comfortable with the notion of death and with dying, and I know it drives my parents nuts to talk about this. Here's a young kid who is just at peace with dying. I shouldn't be. Yeah, it scares me, but you know what? I know when it comes, I'll welcome it with open arms, because I know there's something greater for me. There's a world in which I'll never find myself convalescing in that hospital bed, contemplating life and what it means. There's a world where I won't have to worry about waking up and going to work, paying my bills, or eating healthy in an effort not to get sick. And you know what? I think there's comfort in knowing that at any given time, this life I live in the flesh can be taken from me. Granted, I think everyone should be jealous. I think y'all should be jealous because you know what? I know I've got it made. I've got something greater than anything. And I think once a person kind of comes to grips with this idea that there's a little bit of stress and there's a little bit of worry that goes away, and you know what, living your daily life becomes so much easier because you're living for a greater goal. You're living for one faster ET. May each and every one of you, whether you are racing, spectating, or crewing, I want to say everyone have a safe day here at the track, going home. Once again, I will leave you guys with words that were so familiar to me growing up. It's something I grew up in the Armenian church. It was Deor Bormia, Deor Bormia, Deor Bormia, which is Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. I now have the privilege of turning it over to Scott, who's going to share a few more words.
Yeah.